So I'm here with Jesse, and he's going to share his testimony today. So Jesse, what would be your word or sentence that describes your life before you came to know Jesus as your Savior?
Chaos.
And can you elaborate a little bit on how chaos was your word?
Well, and my testimony starts out with, about really 10 years ago in my life really started to really fluctuate and go the way the enemy wanted to go. I had a drinking problem. I had a pill addiction. I smoked marijuana. Domestic violence was involved in my marriage. DWI here recently in the past couple of years, got in an accident with that. And the Lord in the midst of that found me. And I had to lose my entire family in my first marriage to get to the point where the Lord drove me in closer. And I encourage y'all to, if you're not saved today, get on Miss Avery's YouTube page here, type in "I need salvation." We can lead you to the Lord, but in all reality, He's the one that can save you. If He can change a man like myself into what I'm doing today for Him, He can do the same for you. We are called to have peace, to spread the gospel, to love one another, to have that agape love. And I encourage you, brothers and sisters, to do that today. You can break out that alcohol addiction. You can break out that drug addiction, that pill addiction, that anger, that hatred. We don't need that in the world today. We need a little bit less of that in the world. The world that we live in is a lost and dying world until the second coming of Christ, people. And we can show our love to one another, one soul at a time. Let's get one person to the kingdom at a time. And, whew.
That's great, Jesse.
Oh.
Jesse, can you tell me about the day that the Lord saved you? Can you tell us what happened that
Yes,
day?
I was in my bedroom. I was drunk. I was high on pills. Probably smoked some marijuana today, stored some pills. I just got back from buying 240s at the Exxon in Rolfton on my little red scooter. And I got a phone call that night about the visitation I was supposed to have the next day. My friend said, "You're not able to see your kids tomorrow. She's not going to see you that night." I went to my knees, and I want to believe, it's my spirit that took over my body, because Jessie wasn't thinking about Christ at all. I went to my knees that night, fell right to the floor, and just started crying out for Jesus to help me, that I didn't want to live this way anymore. I listened to some Avenged Sevenfold in the background, which I don't listen to very often anymore. The only time I ever listen to that song, "Now Hail to the King," which is not Jesus, is just to say thank you for what the Lord's come and done for me. Because, in the midst of all that happened in the background, not only was I drunk, I was high, I was full of bitter anger, threw a chair through the door, and also listening to music that was not good to feed to my soul. If the Lord could find me in that dark place where I was at that moment, He can find you.
That's right. So what would your word be now, Jesse?
My word would be now is, a lot of people think that the moment when they're saved, that all of a sudden it's everything gets easier from there. In my experience, it actually got harder. I had to give up, sacrifice a lot more, but in learning that the Lord was growing me to where I'm at today. He's actually given me the courage to even come up here and give my testimony and stuff. That's been hard for me to do for a very long time. I'm what you call an introverted person. Now He's got me out there giving sermons and preaching. I'm thinking, Lord, my goodness, what are you doing to me? But I get a blessing out of that, to see people that it could help, people that, and I got talking about this and preaching on this the other day, with every sin that there's possible in the Bible and everything that you can do, I've committed 99% of them. And so I could reach a larger audience of people that they could be saved by Jesus here. And Jesus is where it's really at. It was really where it's at, people. I see even people that struggle with loneliness. I did for a very long time. And in that loneliness, people, they put their faith in other people. We need to put our faith in Jesus and Jesus Christ alone. So if you're able to sit alone and just be in God's presence, that shows how you've grown. I've not always been that way. Now I can just sit there in the peace and quiet and the solitude with just Him. And I'm thankful that, okay, what are we going to do today? What do you need me to do today for you? How's the day going to go? And that's where my peace lies.
So any last words to anybody watching today? What would you say to somebody?
I would say don't give up hope. Don't give up your faith. The longest time, I haven't seen my children in over a year and a half. The Lord's working on that right now. And at the end of this month, I have a feeling, and I'm standing on His promise that I'm going to see them here rather sooner than later. And that's been, if people know, the people that know me and the people that don't, but I'm going to go ahead and tell the people that don't know, my biggest problem was not having my children in my life. And I always blamed my ex-wife for taking them away. But folks, it wasn't her fault. The enemy was playing it, but God had to remove them because He needed me to draw closer to Him. So He used this time that I've been departed from them so I can grow in Him and spread the gospel of Jesus Christ and go out there and spread His love, and which is agape love. I didn't know how to love until I got the agape love. I thought I knew what love was, folks. I didn't know. I'm just learning now what it actually means and what it actually is. And I just encourage you to, if you ain't saved, to reach out to somebody and get that leadership to get your salvation. Go with Christ, put your boots on, lace your boots up, put your belt on, get your helmet of salvation, your breastplate of faith, and go out there and just do the works. I know the works won't get you into heaven, but you'll gain blessings from it.
Thank you so
God
much,
bless
Jessie.
y'all.